Here's the challenger in the red corner. He's wearing black with silver and weighed in at 9 stone, 2 pounds, failing to make the title weight limit. Undefeated, he brings a professional record of 20 wins, 3 draws, with 7 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Los Mochis, Sinaloa, México, presentando Eduardo el Zurdito Ramirez. And his opponent across the ring, he is the champion fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing white with gold and weighed in at 8 stone, 12 pounds. Hailing from Barry, Wales, his professional record consists of 25 wins, just 1 defeat, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning IBF featherweight champion of the world, Selby.
You both know the rules, so let's just have a good, clean fight, okay? Most of all, remember to defend yourselves at all times, all right? Just go. Keep it clean, keep it clean.
Good Yorkshire tones of the referee, Michael Alexander. Decent fighter in his own right, once upon a time. Doncaster man. Same town that Howard Foster comes from. So away we go. Lee Selby against Eduardo Ramirez. Ramirez, a typical come-forward Mexican pressure fighter. Selby can really be an impressive box of tricks.
Well, he's got the height and reach against Ramirez, who, in typical Mexican style, on that front foot. A southpaw coming forward is generally easier to hit with that right hand, especially if he's got no head movement. He seems to close the gap down himself, so can walk onto a right hand, and he's also got to watch out then for Lee Selby's left hook. It's when the southpaw sits back, that right hand of the orthodox boxer just has to travel a little bit further to get to the target. But when Ramirez, as he's coming forward, then Selby should have success with the right hand if he gets the timing right.
Selby choosing to start off fighting from an orthodox left-hand lead. Always has very good footwork, Lee Selby. Younger brother Andrew is a world-rated flyweight as well. Lee been sparring with Ryan Martin and Kane Stewart, a couple of southpaws in the run-up to this in Tony Borg's gym. He was Tony Borg's first ever British champion, you know, when he won the British title in 2011. Beat Stephen Smith.
Yeah, that was a great win, because Smith is a very good boxer, indeed, isn't he? The Smith family in Liverpool, tremendous fighters, know them really well. It was a good win for Lee Selby. But Tony Borg, his trainer, nice fella, got a very successful gym, hasn't he, down in Newport. There's a lot of talent in that gym.
Well, Ramirez onto the front foot here, trying to gamble with headshots, looking at big hooks, not quite finding the range yet.
Yeah, Ramirez, what he's got to watch out for, John, as he's coming forward, he keeps bringing that left leg round, he keeps coming square, and Selby will start to pick up on that and start to catch him from maybe the right uppercut will be the shot. So you can see how he comes forward there. He just tried the left uppercut. So he's just got to watch it. His feet just keep crossing. He comes very square, Ramirez. And there's that left hook from Selby. That's a nice shot.
Good shot indeed. Selby's last title defence was against Jonathan Victor Barrios in February. Remarkable that he boxed as well as he did, really, because just 4 days before that, as perhaps a lot of fight fans will know, his mum Frankie died, so had a lot going on outside the ring. He's caught there by a right hand from Ramirez, and Ramirez will take heart from that.
Yeah, nice little short, sharp shot there from Ramirez. Selby just getting to it now behind that jab, measuring the distance.
That's gone through that Barrios fight I was telling you about, with a very bad cut which he picked up in the 5th round. Eventually had Barrios down in the 12th before coming through to a points victory. Interesting opening round. More about it shortly. Enough to take that opening round, but there was a little bit of consternation in the corner. That's some of his better work, but there was consternation in the corner from the right hand, which caught him pretty flush in the closing stages of that round.
Well, it was a nice shot from Ramirez, but I thought Selby won the round, John, but there wasn't a lot in it. But he just got over the line that round, did Selby.
One defeat on Selby's record was very early in his career. In a 4-rounder against the awkward Samir Muniemni.
So there's the shot, John. That's the shot he's got to throw. That right uppercut. It's the punch, right uppercut, left hook is the combination against this Ramirez. Ramirez strong, coming forward, feet come square. He takes a lot of risks because he's trying to get up close to Selby to land some bigger shots. He knows that to win the title away from home, he's got to put in an impressive display, and that means front foot boxing, and that's what he's trying to do, get up close. But the way he's doing it, his feet keep crossing. Look, there it is again. He needs the right uppercut, left hook here, does Selby.
Ramirez does look physically very strong. Never defeated as a professional. Trained by Manuel Montiel, brother of Fernando. And he changed his management group this year to try and get a bit more of a profile. Got a draw against a very awkward Cuban, Eduardo Bartelmi, in his last fight in Las Vegas in September. He thought he won, of course, as fighters often do.
So we just missing with a couple of right hands here, John. That was better for him. He wants to watch that, missing the target. That leaves him open. And Ramirez might come back with his own counter, so he's just got to be a little bit more accurate with that right hand here, Selby.
Last southpaw who Selby faced was Randall Munro 3 years ago. Good fighter Randall was, the Leicester bin man.
Yeah, good little fighter Randall was. But yeah, it's been a long time since he has met a southpaw as Selby.
'12-rounder, of course, this one. Championship distance. Just a little bit of marking up above the left eyebrow of Lee Selby. It's a bit of a graze, a bit of an abrasion.
Oh, that was a nice shot on the inside there from Selby. That was a lovely punch. He's got left hook on the inside. And that's what he's got to watch out for. When he misses that right hand, he sort of falls in, his right shoulder comes round Selby, and if he misses the target, then he's open to a counter. But
interesting round once more.
Forget anything can happen in sport.
I thought Selby won the round again, John, to be quite honest. I think he nicked the round. Got caught with a couple of shots I was just seeing here, but for me, Ramirez didn't do enough. And I've just been corrected, of course. Ramirez can't win the title tonight. But nevertheless, he knows that a positive performance on the front foot.
Been out of action for a while, Lee Selby. Not fought since February. Ramirez, he was in action only in September, so could argue that he's more battle sharpened. Selby, I'm sure, will be only too well aware that Josh Warrington is sitting at ringside, and he'll be wanting not only to get the win but also to impress.
I think that's where Ramirez has got to box on. He's got to get up close to Selby. Got to try and make it scrappy, hasn't he? Not close. Try and rough him up a bit. We know Selby's a great boxer at distance and he's a good mover. So I think Ramirez got the right idea. Got to try and push him back to the ropes maybe and just restrict that movement a little bit and tie him up on the inside.
It's a left hand which finds the target from Ramirez, and again. Ramirez not yet disheartened, still on the forward march. IBF supervisor here incidentally for this fight, Eddie Cotton. Veteran of 88 world title fights as a referee, now an IBF official. Good work again from Ramirez, who's keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, he's having his best round here, Ramirez. He's just punishing Selby when Selby's missing the target. That's why he's got to be more accurate as Selby.
It's when Selby falls in, isn't it?
Yeah, falls in. If he misses the target, then he's open a little bit, and Ramirez has come back well in this round.
Selby not able to perhaps dominate as much as he would wish at the moment. His head's going close, and Michael Alexander has to separate the two. Also, Michael Alexander used to be a fighter once upon a time. He actually had a win on his professional record against the very talented Richard Williams. It's better from Selby and getting applause from his corner. Nice sweet little uppercut inside as well. Oh, that's good from Selby. Switching attack from body to head, and then a lovely straight right hand. Good work in the closing stages of the round. World champion in action against Eduardo Ramirez, and Ramirez having his best round.
Yeah, I think so, John. I think he might just nick that round. I think Selby boxed well in the last 20-30 seconds. Put some good moves together. Good left hook there. This was right towards the end of the round, but earlier on I thought Ramirez did the better work, so just got it for me.
So into the fourth round. Selby only with 9 stoppage victories in his 25 wins. Two defences against Fernando Montiel and Eric Hunter. He had to get off the canvas on both occasions.
Some better work now from Selby on the move, and Tony, I was listening to Tony Borg in the corner. He says use your jab and keep the movement going.
Had to get off the canvas against Eric Hunter, went the distance against both of them and against Montiel.
Again, John, I think a classic case, if you stand and hold your feet and trade with this fella, then you really bring him into it and you're giving him a chance to score. Movement at range, and try and bring him onto shots and then move again. I think that's a nice shot see from Selby. Then he's away again. That's better boxing now from Selby.
Yeah, there's a nice solid right hand in there from Selby, which got a few oohs and ahs from those at ringside. Ramirez game, but not the cutest, is he? But he keeps on coming, and when he gets into that sort of range, that's where he's dangerous, fighting in the pocket, as they say.
He's dangerous, especially if Selby holds his feet. And like all Mexicans, Johnny's strong, isn't he?
Yeah, it's kind of in the Mexican DNA, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Selby trying to keep plenty of lateral movement, as you can see. Nice sweet little left hand again from the Welshman. Managed by Chris Sanagar, who's done a great job with fighters in the southwest of the country for many a year. He was a tough man in the ring.
Yeah, been in boxing a long time now, hasn't he, Chris Sanagar?
Still looks extremely well. Had a few health issues a few years ago, but he looks in great shape now.
of good right hands in this round from Selby. Ramirez just slowing down a touch, John. I think the footwork isn't so quick coming forward now. Selby has increased his movement, is having more success. Ramirez wants him to just hold his feet and trade, but that's a good round, I think, for Selby.
Yeah, just outboxing him nicely, isn't he? Using his movement, using his reach, and racking up the points. Richie giving that one to occasion. And he's the man who confirmed that because Ramirez didn't make the weight, he can't win the title tonight. And Lee Selby likewise, even if Ramirez were to win it, Selby would remain the IBF champion. Richie Selby had a one-word answer, response to all that. It wasn't one which I can't repeat. It was unprofessional.
I was going to say, John, that Ramirez, he can't win the title, but he'll certainly want to win this fight. All Mexicans, they're fighters, they're winners.
Well, if he won, he'd be right into the mix, wouldn't he? The fact he's not made the weight here, I mean, if he wins,
his next fight would be a world title fight.
It'd be a world title fight, and if not a rematch for the IBF title, he'd certainly get himself right into the mix to fight the likes of Gary Russell Jr. or Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares, Oscar Valdez. They're all other world title winners who would be in his targets, in his sights.
So we have a lot of success here, John, with the left uppercut on the inside and the left hook, especially when they're up close. A bit more accuracy with that shot. Ramirez, for the first time, starting to go back. I think he's starting to feel the pace a little bit here now, Ramirez. With some good work from Selby. I don't think he can suss Selby out. Look, better work now from Selby.
I think these body shots are taking it out of him, Richie. That left hand which thudded in again there, you could almost visibly see Ramirez wince just a touch and switch the attack beautifully there with that little short left hand to the head.
He put so much into the right hand, Selby, but then he comes back, doesn't he, with the left hook. If he misses the target, then he'll reply then with the left hook. And Ramirez just taking his foot off the gas a little bit, and he's feeling the pace. Just a touch here, Ramirez.
Again, the attempted big body shot from Selby, just punished slightly by a counter by a right hand, but he was trying to crunch in a right to the body underneath the elbow.
Oh, lovely shot there from Selby.
And sweet foot movement.
Yeah, just switched his feet. He actually threw that shot as a southpaw boxer. And again, left hook on the inside. Yeah, good work from Selby here, and he's constantly on the move now, Lee Selby, so listening to the corner as well.
Ramirez may be the younger man by 6 years, but Selby appears to have worked off any ring rust which might be there, caught by a left hand in that corner. But he's looked better the further this has gone. Oh, good right hand again. Frustration from Ramirez, banging his gloves together, annoyed that he was caught by that right hand. Good round again to Lee Selby. What do you got it now, Richie? 4-1?
Yeah, I've only given him one round, Ramirez. 4 rounds to 1 for me. Good work from Selby, this was.
At ringside, looking to see if he can see any weaknesses which can be exposed. Listening to exactly what I'm saying.
Move round, let him move right down to the body. Nice. Box him well, right?
Sharp cookie, Josh. He doesn't miss much, does he? Snappy dresser as well, Richie. You've got to watch your reputation. You've got to challenge him.
Yeah, he's outdone me tonight, the lad has, yeah. He just whispered over and last time and then the time before. I'm not having that.
6th round, and Selby, you would think, is in control here as he brings in a nice chopping left hand, as Ramirez momentarily dropped that right hand to provide the target. Another good left hand from Selby.
Yeah, what was so impressive about that, John, it was from distance, and then he went back to the safety distance, didn't he? Didn't fall in on his work there, Selby. Well balanced, good shots, and moved back on the outside. That's good boxing.
Ramirez getting plenty of encouragement from his corner, but not getting a lot of success. All Selby now.
Good right hand over the top then from Selby. He was set up with that little jab. He just feinted a jab downstairs and then whipped that right hand over. He's growing in confidence now, isn't he, Selby? You can see on that front foot, holding his feet a little bit longer now and planting his feet to get the power shots in now. Lee Selby, that's a sign of confidence from a boxer.
Boxing well, and probably at this stage recognises that Ramirez, the snap on his left hand there, but the snap maybe just going out of his work, and he's perhaps getting a little bit discouraged by what's coming against him, and Selby is looking ever more dominant.
He's just gradually turned the screw in this round, Selby. Oh, lovely shot again.
Might not be eye-catching knockout punches that Selby's throwing, but he is such an accomplished boxer. I suppose the question is, when he comes to fight Josh Warrington, whether he can cope with the Warrington work rate, which is so much a point in his favour.
It's a
very different
contest.
sort of fight to this.
It's a totally different sort of contest, and one that everyone wants to see, and I'm sure if Lee Selby can get through this, then that contest is not too far away. But yeah, it's a mouth-watering bout, that is.
One of several very big fights, which I think we're going to be able to bring you in 2018 as Selby notches up another round.
Introducing new Persil Power Gems. Extraordinary powers to remove stains, care, and freshen. Persil Power Gems.
IBF World Champion Lee Selby with trainer Tony Borg in that corner.
Isn't it 3 or 4 fast hands? Yeah.
What, drop it in then?
Yeah. Well, isn't it 3 or 4 fast hands first to make him cover up and then drive it in?
Manuel Montiel in the Eduardo Ramirez corner, and he's got to find something spectacular now to turn this one around, and frankly I can't see it happening.
Well, he's not really a big puncher, is he, Ramirez? I think the tactics were right at the start, trying to get up close to Selby, and he's had some success on that front foot. But the last round was a typical example of Selby's skills and the way he's just increased the tempo, turned the screw a little bit, and oh, lovely shots again on the inside. Class that was then from Selby.
Left to the body, beautiful shot. Selby, who 12 times has gone, 7 times has gone 12 rounds. So he knows all about pacing a fight.
And probably how this contest is slipping away at this stage from Ramirez. His feet have slowed right down, John, so he's not so, he's had a little bit of success here, but he's not so persistent on that front foot. The feet are slow. Selby can see the attacks coming, and Selby's dictating the pace and tempo. And Ramirez is struggling now here.
Never gone 12 rounds, Ramirez, and he's very much on the receiving end here. Assuming the judges are seeing it the same way as we are, of course.
Yeah, that's right. I'd be very surprised though if Lee Selby isn't. You know, he hasn't got a comfortable lead. I've got him 4 up now, John.
Selby loves to switch hit, loves to as well be something of a showman, or tries to. Nice body shot. Oh no, it's too low.
That's the
Oh, no, the
gum shields come out.
Yeah, when he was a kid, his hero was Naz.
Some hero. He was a terrific fighter, wasn't he, Naz? And you can see he's trying to. Sometimes he throws shots a bit like Naz. I mean, Naz was just a one-off, wasn't he? He threw punches from all different angles with so much power.
Yeah, he hasn't got his power. That's the principal difference.
You can see sometimes he throws shots from different angles. Does Lee Selby? Gets caught there with a good shot. And you can see that he's tried to be like Naz, hasn't he, as he's grown up.
Ramirez just having enough success at this stage just to show he's not finished yet. Getting through with a few telling punches in this 7th round. It's better from Ramirez. Big effort from the Mexican here. I'm sure that his corner will have implored on him the seriousness of the situation, that rounds are slipping away. Well, Ramirez doing better in the second half of that round. But maybe not enough to win the round. Not much in it though, maybe. What do you reckon, Richie?
Could have been an even round, John, that. I think Selby started the round well, but Ramirez ended it better. So yeah, a fairly close round. Just on the inside, short little right uppercut. There it was there. Good punch.
Well, this is how Richie's got it at this stage. By 4 rounds to Lee Selby, the champion. You'll have your own opinion at home, but I suspect it's not going to be too far away from that.
Drive the one shot in. 3 and 1.
What's on?
To the head. 4 stands up, yeah. Aim for the chest.
Lee Selby getting advice from inside the ring, Tony Borg. And the man outside still looking as though he's got the old picture in the attic, looking about 15 years younger than he is, his manager Chris Sanagar.
Good champions over the years from Wales and featherweight. John, Steve Robinson, remember him?
I certainly do.
Super puncher.
Saw all his world title fights at ringside.
Great fighter. And Howard Winston.
That is a bit before my time.
Before my time as well, but if you read the history books, and he was some fighter, wasn't he, Howard Winston, so they reckon.
Mid-1960s, wasn't it? 1966, was it? He won the world title, somewhere around there. Merthyr's finest,
yeah,
one of them. Yeah, there have been some terrific Welsh fighters, the little men going back. Jimmy Wilde going right back.
Now you're talking, yeah. But Selby, you know, he's keeping the tradition going. Good performance here. Probably just needs to sit on his punches a little bit more, and a stoppage win would be the icing on the cake here, John. I mean, he's well winning this contest. Maybe if he was to get a stoppage here, that would be a good result against this unbeaten Mexican. Good work, Selby.
A couple of good headshots from Selby, and another one. Ramirez still finding the determination to get onto the front foot, though, but he's having to absorb a lot to land a few. There's a couple from Ramirez, which find the head. Some judges, of course, always impressed by the fighter who's on the front foot, by the man who forces the pace, by the aggressor. A whole host of fans up there in Leeds will be watching, no doubt, thinking, can this man beat our hero, Josh Warrington? Has he got enough? The Selby fans, many of whom are here, many more watching down in Wales, will be thinking that potential trip to Elland Road is going to be very worthwhile.
Good spell there from Ramirez. He really concentrated and put the work together. Kept Selby on those ropes and let the punches go, John. Yeah, and again, you see Selby just making the mistake of holding the feet. You can't afford to do that against this type of boxer.
Selby just tiring, perhaps, just a touch, just getting clipped a little bit more. Better round from Ramirez, who gives Selby a bit of an old-fashioned stare as he goes back to the corner.
Don't stand and shave with him as well. Just hit him with all the best shots when you're moving. Hit and move all the time, right? When you're working to that, but until now, for now, close your eyes. Keep your legs moving. What? Sorry, go on.
Better round this was from Ramirez. Gets caught right at the start here with that good left hook. And we thought, you know, that was going to set the pattern, but Selby made a couple of bad mistakes. That was his better boxing right earlier on in the round. But as the round went on, Ramirez came into it. I thought Selby occasionally just held his feet a little bit too long. Working again there. Ramirez working well on the inside. He did his better work and maybe did enough to win that round.
Tough lad, isn't he, Ramirez? Bit slow getting up off his stool. And referee Michael Alexander encouraging the cornermen, Eduardo and Manuel Montiel, to get out of the ring and get on with it.
Well, that last round has given Ramirez a bit of encouragement, John, on that front foot again.
He's behind on your card, Richie, but if Selby were to somehow unravel in the closing stages, all is not lost while he's still in there, and Ramirez is tough, and he keeps going, he keeps coming.
At this level of boxing, John, you can't afford a lapse in concentration. In that previous round there, Selby just occasionally stood on the ropes, and 5-10 seconds just allowed Ramirez.
That's what it was, foot off the gas, or just a lack of concentration, lack of focus.
Lack of concentration, and now and again, who knows, he might have got a little bit complacent, but you know, it cost him, for me, it just cost him the round. You've got to concentrate every second of every round at World Championship level.
Ramirez not hurt. The stage round about the 4th or the 5th, where it looked like the body attack of Selby was starting to get to Ramirez, but he's not been able to sustain that, and Ramirez has kind of drawn heart in the second half of the fight, come on a little bit stronger. He gave the 7th round level, who knows, maybe the judges have given that 7th round as well as the 8th round to Eduardo Ramirez.
Selby now back to his tactics of hit and move, not holding the feet.
Ramirez was a bit more of a banger. It could have been very, very tasty indeed, because he's landed enough to still keep hope. And I think that Selby looking a bit disorganised again here in this 9th round.
Just his accuracy has eluded him a little bit here, John. And he's thrown some shots where he's missed the target, and Ramirez has come back. Ramirez is always on that front foot. Again, look, see there, just for a split second, just holds his feet, and Ramirez just takes advantage. That's where he's got to be boxing from, Lee Selby, centre of the ring.
Awful lot of missed punches from both men in that round. Ramirez will go back to his corner thinking he won the round. Does Richie agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I think he did enough to win that round, Ramirez.
It could be, as a result of the pressure he's putting on, that the gap, which surely Selby established in the early stages, that the gap is narrowing.
Just better work from Ramirez. Feet. So yeah, the last couple of rounds have been better for Ramirez.
Lo puedes noquear, zurdo, lo puedes noquear.
But the judges may see it differently, John, you know, but that's how I'm looking at it.
No hay otro camino, güey. Tienes que noquear.
Well, tough Mexican is kind of a boxing cliche, isn't it? But he's certainly shown that he is that, Eduardo Ramirez. Selby dominating at stages in the first half of the fight, but this hard Mexican has come back into it since the halfway stage. They're telling him, the corner, that you've got a lot of heart. Keep coming, keep showing it. You impressed by my Spanish, Richie?
Very much so. I'm always impressed with you, John.
Said that with a raised eyebrow. Selby planting his feet in front, trying to deliver some more powerful punches. Maybe being told that he's just allowed those last few rounds to slip away.
I think a couple of good shots here are just taking their, having an effect rather on Ramirez. Just sort of slowed up, hasn't he, a little bit, and on those ropes there just held his feet himself and nothing was coming back much. Just allowed Selby to land a couple of good right hands, and again.
Well, he's put a lot into it in the last round, certainly, Rich. I mean, he was well down at halfway and he's really worked very, very hard over the last 3 rounds, which he may well have won. You know, so maybe he's gassing just a little, the mouth's hanging open a little.
Yeah, Selby looks a little bit fresher, doesn't he?
Tenth round, it's a 12-rounder, remember. Lee Selby, the IBF champion, in the white shorts. It's a nice left hand from the Welshman.
Yeah, nice shot, just changed the angle.
He's boxed nicely. The crowd, you just suspect, just a wee bit underwhelmed. Haven't quite seen or felt the fireworks that they anticipated. And here comes Ramirez again, trying to now make a big finish to this round. He's caught by a good left hook to the body from Selby as he came forward, but Ramirez is trying to be the aggressor in the closing stages to catch the judge's eyes.
Yeah, he's had a quiet 2 minutes, hasn't he? But all of a sudden he comes alive, last 30 or 40 seconds. As you've said, John, just to catch the judge's eyes.
Selby keeping mobile, trying to maintain that will-o'-the-wisp style, which can be so frustrating to opponents. Look at the number of shots there from Ramirez, which were just whistling through thin air.
Yeah, good last 30, 40 seconds, but has he done enough to win the round? Not for me, he hasn't.
Selby did really well in the early stages of the round, and although Ramirez narrowed the gap in the closing...
Levels above. Fast stance, sharp, quality work, let's entertain, right?
Seconds out, round 11.
Well, that effectively stopped the rot, you would suspect, for Lee Selby. Reckon that if Ramirez is going to win now, he'd probably have to knock him out.
Yeah, I think so. He needs a stoppage, Ramirez, from here on in. Selby got back to his better boxing in that round. Last 30, 40 seconds, Ramirez started to come on stronger, but for a good 2 minutes of that round, probably a little bit longer than Selby was in control.
Selby again content to stick and move. might have heard in the corner between rounds Tony Borg and Chris Sanagar saying that, you know, you're a level above this guy. Let's show some boxing skills. Don't allow yourself to fall down to his level.
And Selby's experienced over 12 rounds. He's completed seven 12-rounders in his career.
And Ramirez has never gone that distance.
He's never gone the distance, so he's showing his experience now, Selby. Knows that his fitness is okay. He can bounce, he can bob and weave for the 12. And that's his style, and that's his strength, his movement, his skill, his movement. That's Lee Selby.
Ramirez never beaten, never stopped. You know, as all fighters have, he's had rocky periods at times, but he's never remotely looked like being stopped here tonight. There was just that stage round. Oh, he's caught by left hand there, Selby. That was a good shot from Ramirez. Best punch he's landed for a while. That'll focus Selby now.
Yeah, Selby then just went back onto the ropes, didn't he? We keep saying when he goes on the ropes, holds the feet. Ramirez just took his opportunity, didn't he? And caught Selby with a cracking shot, and now it's roles reversed. Can Selby find the big one?
Body attacks earlier on, which really reaped dividends for Lee Selby. It's more headhunting now in the closing stages. Always had the look of a fight which was going to potentially go the distance, this one. It's looking very much as though that's going to be the case now. Good little flurry from Ramirez.
Yes, a bit of a pattern emerging, isn't there, with Ramirez? He always finishes the round fairly strong. Last 30-40 seconds, just to catch the judge's eyes.
Some fighters have built careers on that. Witness Arthur Abraham. How many wins did he have like that? Do nothing for about 2.5 minutes and then throw the kitchen sink at somebody for the last 30.
Yeah, I remember Matthew Macklin against Felix Sturm as well. And for me, Macklin won the fight convincingly, in my opinion, but didn't get it. Felix Sturm kept on finishing the round strongly.
Old pro stuff. So, just one round to go now. Empty seats filling up around the arena because the main event comes closer. The return to a British ring of James DeGale, but this was good work here from Eduardo Ramirez.
Yeah, the only part of the round that he was convincing here. But Selby on the ropes, gets caught, Ramirez keeps coming. Finishes the round fairly strong. Not bad work there from Ramirez.
Did you do enough to win the round?
Not for me, no. You don't win the round just on one attack like that, John.
Well, that's how Richie Woodall has got it, by 4 points to Lee Selby, and they will touch gloves, as is the tradition, before the final round. Both men a little slow to come out of the corner. Michael Alexander insisting that tradition will be maintained, will be upheld as we move into the last 3 minutes. Selby finding the target. Head of Ramirez. A couple of those shots from range. And again. Good start from Selby. He'll have been told to get out there and just make sure. Let's see some good shots.
Yeah, in the contest. Impressively, that's what he would have been told. Don't be sloppy. Don't take too many chances, but be impressive, look good in that last round, up on your toes.
2 or 3 good body shots from Selby. So how would you rate his performance overall, Lee Selby, tonight? Patchy?
I think you're right there, John. It has been a little bit patchy. He's in against an undefeated boxer, remember, a tough Mexican. I think it was always going to be a 12-rounder, wasn't he? These Mexicans are so tough. Most people would have predicted a 12-rounder. Selby's not a big puncher. As I say that, he just produced the best left hook of the fight, probably, but he's not known for his power. It's his skill and his movement.
Ramirez took it well, though, didn't he? It landed pretty flush, that left hand. Here are the body shots again. Now, this is what served him so well earlier on. And he's forcing his man back onto the ropes. Sustained attack to the body.
And it is a good finish up to now, isn't it, from Selby? Who's responded to the corner very well here.
He's being urged by his own corner, Selby, to keep coming forward. Force the fight as a couple fly lower, left hand under right hand. Looks as though they were on the belt, but the gloves come down for Ramirez, and a couple of headshots find the target from Selby. Now can Ramirez once again provide a flurry in the closing seconds of the round, which has been dominated by Lee Selby so far. Selby has bossed this final 3 minutes, Richie.
Yeah, he's
for the most part.
Again, look, here's the inbuilt clock from Ramirez. Last 20 or 30 seconds, he comes on strong. He just stumbled there.
Just stumble, no knockdown, no, not close.
It's been a good last round for Lee Selby.
Very good round indeed for the Welshman. In fact, so good, you wonder why he didn't do more of this earlier on. An emphatic last 3 minutes from Lee Selby. And surely doing enough to win the fight. On points, you would think. Boxed really well in that last 3 minutes. That's what he can do.
Yeah, tremendous that was. And Ramirez couldn't respond. As you said, it makes you wonder why he didn't do that a little bit earlier, but he went for safety, hit and moved, didn't he, Lee Selby? But that was a great last round. He finished it very strong, very positively. Let's have a look at it here.
Well, Ramirez thinks that he won this fight.
Well, not on my scorecard, he didn't. Good left hook there from Selby, that was. The right hand went in first, then a good left hook. It was a good finish to the round. That's where the stumble came.
He swung himself off his feet.
Yeah, there was a punch, but he saw it going to try and land a shot himself, wasn't he? So his legs just got a little bit unbalanced there.
So it's going to the cards. I wonder how they've got it. You've got it clearly to Lee Selby. Ramirez rallied a little bit in the second half of the fight. But Selby got away the better, didn't he? In the early stages, you sensed.
I think the better quality work was definitely from Selby throughout. I think Ramirez, he boxed in spurts. There was like 10 and 20 second bursts where he looked really good and trying to probably nick the round like that, but a lot of the rounds, you know, you tend then to forget about the 2 minutes before that where Selby's dominated. So for me, he won most of these rounds, did Lee Selby. I think he's won it, you know, very comfortable.
Chris Sanagar, Lee Selby's manager, walked across to the opposite corner and touched his heart, as much as to say fair credit to Eduardo Ramirez, giving it everything and keeping on trying to force the pace when the classier moves, the classier boxing was coming from his fighter. At least that's the way we saw it from Lee Selby. And I think now we have got the verdict. The two fighters are being drawn together by the referee, Michael Alexander. And now Thomas Triver has the verdict in his hand, and he can give us the deliberations of the judges. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Alex Levin scores it 118 to 110. Judge Marcus McDonald scores it 119 to 109. And Judge Benoit Roussel scores it 116 to 112. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still, IBF featherweight champion of the world, Lightning Lee Selby.
So one of the judges giving it by 4 rounds, the other two much more emphatically by distances of 8 rounds and 10 rounds. IBF champions Lee Selby, and he will now say, yep, I'm ready. I'll defend my title. Josh Warrington is next.
How did you know, John? Yes, he is.